So one of the first things are going to be certain minerals. So zinc and selenium are very, very important for good, healthy hair health. Zinc and selenium also provide really good buffers to oxidative stress, especially selenium. It definitely helps with glutathione recycling. So selenium is a really important nutrient and mineral. Zinc also very helpful. You're going to get zinc in a lot of seafood, a lot of healthy animal products. Things like pumpkin seed oil are kind of commonplace to be very helpful with hair health. There's some studies out there looking at pumpkin seed oil on hair health, on hair regrowth. Very important. Next, I would say DHT. DHT does cause hair follicles to miniaturize over time. They start to lose a little bit of the melanin in the hair, so they start to get smaller and more translucent. And then over time, that hair follicle eventually just goes kaput, and you lose the actual hair there and you start going bald. But usually there's this thinning of the hair first. DHT has that major effect on the thinning of the hair. And so certain nutrients like zinc have a mild DHT blocking effect. Certain things like pumpkin seed oil could help because that's very high in zinc as well. And also things like saw palmetto. There's a bunch of different meta-analyses looking at saw palmetto in that 300 to 400 milligram range. You just want to make sure it's 85 to 90% cold extract, so you're not damaging those fatty acids, those beta sterols that block that DHT. Saw palmetto can be excellent, and there's a bunch of meta-analysis out there. You just want to make sure you're taking a high enough dose. You want it at least twice a day, so you have that kind of broad spectrum effect. So saw palmetto is excellent, especially if you're trying to, avoid maybe a finasteride medication or something like that. So we have saw palmetto, we have zinc and selenium. I'd also say NAC. There's a couple of studies. There's one major study out right now in kind of progress on looking at NAC and comparing it to hair loss and hair growth. There's one study, I think, where it compares it to minoxidil, where it's actually doing really well, the NAC. And part of that is it's going to help with the pseudocatalase enzyme, which is going to help neutralize the hydrogen peroxide around the follicle that strips the melanin from the hair follicle to cause it to go gray. Also, sulfur is a really important building block, helping that hair to also grow as well. So there's some other, mechanisms, whether it's reducing inflammation, oxidative stress, glutathione. That pseudocatalase enzyme is really important for helping to prevent the gray hair. So NAC is a really important one. And again, NAC is going to be that building block to help with glutathione. So that's a big one. So that one big study out there on NAC shows a lot of hope. Outside of that, you can do medications. You can do finasteride. If you're going to do finasteride, the typical dose is 1 milligram. I always say there's a lot of studies on microdosing it, going even at a half or a quarter milligram. Depends on how fast you're losing your hair. I always recommend try to do the natural things first. Unless your hair is really dropping super, super fast, then you may need a pharmaceutical intervention. So you can come in with a microdose of finasteride down to 0.25 milligrams per day, or you can even do something more topical, like a liposomal compounded topical. Anywhere between 0.1 milligrams to 0.25 milligrams a day is a good starting point.